everyone. I want to share with you some tips that will make putting together block 2 easier. Now first, let me point out that the diamond in block 2 looks like this. It's like a swallow's pattern. I didn't want to have set-in points when I made this, so I broke the pattern down into 3 sections. Right? So 3 sections like this. And I have to look at it. There's section 1, there's section 2, there's section 3, just like that. Now, each one of these sections has a separate set of cutting instructions. And while each one only has 3 pieces, and this should be pretty straightforward, I got cocky when I cut my pieces, and I didn't do the thing that I told y'all to do, which is put each one of the individual pieces for each section together, clipped together with their numbers. So for instance, these are the pieces for section 1, these are the pieces for section 2, and these for section 3, and then I have a whole other group for the wedges. Now, I figured I could keep up with it, that I didn't need to go to this trouble, and I messed up 2 different pieces before I finally decided that, oh yeah, this is just good advice across the board. So, do this part as you're cutting your fabric out for each section. And I would say put the fabric together with the foundation papers for each section. So that's the first tip. The second tip is that when you sew these, this is a good one. Section block 2, section 1, this is a good one. All right, there are going to be several places in this block where when you're sewing pieces together and you've got the paper right side up, you'll notice that here, this line that I'm sewing, that line right there, stops at a circle. It doesn't extend into the seam allowance. In fact, this one did right there. So you can't see the solid line anymore, but it's there. Let's see if you can see it better. Let's see, on this one, yeah, you can see it just a little bit better on this one. You can tell that that solid line is there, and I've stitched over it, but I did not stitch beyond the line here. That's important later when you're setting the block together. Rule of thumb is if you see a solid line, you sew on it, and if you don't, you don't. All right, so there's that. The next thing is, if you're just looking at these pieces, let me back this up. Once you get your 3 sections for the block complete, if you're just looking at them like this, it can be a puzzle. The better thing to do is to turn these over, and you'll see the text is all right side up. The other thing you'll notice is that on these 2 seams, there's 1 star on each side. Well, that's another indicator that these 2 pieces match up there. On this one, there's a double star, and so it helps you know that that's where that matches up. When you are putting these together to sew, I would use positioning pins on the places in the center that meet, so that seam intersection there will meet up with that seam intersection. And if you use your positioning pins and get that lined up and you put a pin on either side, you really shouldn't have to worry too much about matching the points at either end, but if you want to, you certainly can. When you sew section, well, that's section 3, really doesn't matter which one, but you sew 3 to 2 or 1 to 2, what you'll do is remove the paper from the seam allowance on both sides and press towards section 2. So both of these get pressed towards section 2. From this point forward, the instructions are the same as if it was any other diamond. So you can look in the general instructions and see that it will tell you to attach the wedge here, and then you will sew together the diamond wedge units into pairs, pairs into fours, the 2 halves into a complete block, and then you'll set it into the corners. Once you take care of the basics, this is an easy block to sew. So have a good time with it. I think you're going to like it. Happy sewing!